WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Tommy Lopez. We start with a Columbus man who's now under arrest. It's after he set off a two-state search when his mom and his employer said that he had gone missing. It was when he was on his delivery route. So Antoine Harris, now under arrest, says the Columbus police. He's charged with embezzlement. Harris was reported missing January 31st. It was after he failed to return from his weekend deliveries with that company, Corporate Dining Concepts. That was the van that he was driving. He was supposed to be in West Alabama. That van, though, was found abandoned 2 days later in southeast Mississippi in Waynesboro, about 150 miles away from his route. On Monday, the search was called off after Harris's mother reported hearing from him. He was taken into custody that same day. Harris's bond is $15,000. The fate of President Trump's travel ban has been determined for now. A federal appeals court ruled not to reinstate the ban. Kristen Holmes is in Washington with the details and the reaction.
Bottom line, this is a complete victory for the state of Washington.
Citizens from 7 majority Muslim countries with valid visas will continue to be allowed to enter the United States for now, after the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals deciding unanimously Thursday to uphold the suspension of President Donald Trump's controversial travel ban.
What we argued to the court yesterday was that it's the role of the courts to say what the law is and to serve as a check on the executive branch, and that's what the court has done in this opinion.
The panel of 3 judges saying the government did not give evidence of national security concerns that justified the ban or evidence that anyone from these 7 countries had committed a terror attack in the United States. The president responding to the ruling on social media, tweeting, "See you in court. The security of our nation is at stake," and telling reporters outside the White House he thinks his administration will prevail.
It's a political decision and we're going to see them in court, and I look forward to doing it.
Trump has said he's willing to take this all the way to the Supreme Court. The Justice Department is reviewing the decision and considering its options. Meanwhile, Democratic lawmakers on Capitol Hill already responding to the decision.
And I think that's an important message that our constitutional system will work.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
I, Jeff Sessions, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend.
Also in Washington today, Jeff Sessions was sworn in as Attorney General. The former U.S. Senator from Alabama took the oath of office with his wife. You can see her there. And there's President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. Many Democrats asked Sessions about past allegations of racism during his confirmation hearings. His supporters have denied those claims. His arrival in Washington leaves a Senate seat empty in Alabama. Governor Robert Bentley announced an interim appointment today. Bentley named Alabama Attorney General Luther Strange to fill that seat for the time being. Strange is 63 years old, a Republican. He's a former Washington lobbyist. He says he planned to run for that Senate seat whether or not he got this appointment. He'll serve until next year's election. A number of bills died today in the Mississippi legislature. It was because of a deadline. Bills died for the state lottery, and the bills are dead that would have changed the way the state funds education. Any action now would have to come in a special session later this year. The education bills were placeholders. They were meant to be changed later. Republican leaders want a new funding formula. Democrat leaders want to keep the Mississippi Adequate Education Program, or MAEP. Lawmakers have only fully funded that formula twice in the 20 years it's been in place. The Mississippi Supreme Court effectively ended a legal battle today. There was a lawsuit to end the use of a machine many call the Demon Chipmunk. It reads bills aloud in the legislature. Here's what that high-speed computer voice sounds like.
I, by reason of resignation or termination, the office of superintendent for the Greenville Public School District becomes vacant after July 1st.
It's fast. So the lawsuit from Democrat Jay Hughes of Oxford is now dead. He sued Republican House Speaker Philip Gunn last year. Lawmakers often use this strategy of reading bills aloud to slow down court proceedings. The state Supreme Court ruled today to send that case back to Hinds County with instructions to dismiss the case. A protest about health care turns into a meeting. It turns into a discussion today in Tupelo. This is U.S. Representative Trent Kelly. He met with people who were protesting peacefully right outside of his Tupelo office. A viewer sent us this video. The protesters wanted to know what Kelly and other Republicans plan to do if they repeal Obamacare. People there say the congressman addressed all their questions, but he couldn't give a lot of details about what a new medical care plan would look like. Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson joins us now. Keith, getting really cold out there tonight.
It is getting chilly out there right now. Tommy, 34 degrees in Starkville. The wind is now calm across our viewing area. It is getting cold. 33 in Columbus, 36 in Tupelo, 36 in Amory as well, 35 for you in Vernon. Our forecast lows tonight, as we've been talking about, low 30s and upper 20s across the board here. Now, we are going to be rewarded with a lot of sunshine on Friday. Case in point, Macon, 29 at 7 o'clock. You'll need that jacket as we get into the afternoon. We're talking about some warmer temperatures, mid-60s here by 3 o'clock. The full forecast in just a few minutes.
Hey, thank you. Some experts in Mississippi are trying to make people more aware of mental illness. Tonight, a songwriter and recording artist spoke at Mississippi University for Women. She shared some of her own struggles there. Our Quentin Smith was there. He joins us with more.
Tommy, Meg Hutchinson has been a mental health advocate for about 6 years now. It all began when she was 19 years old. Hutchinson was battling depression and suffering from bipolar disorder. The recording artist says she was too ashamed to open up to her family about her struggles. It was after a suicide attempt in 2006 when she finally decided to seek help. Now she's using her testimony to bring mental wellness to light by making sure people are aware of the symptoms and to let them know there's help available.
I feel like if we can get this message out to students before they start suffering with depression, then they're going to understand what the symptoms are. And rather than once people are already in it, it's a lot harder for them to recognize it.
Hutchinson travels nationwide sharing her story in an effort to prevent someone from going through some of the same things as she did. Tommy, back to you.
Quentin, thank you. It appears that what leaders say could be a field filled with possibilities and miracles, that it's going to become a reality in Lowndes County. It's a Miracle League field, is what they're calling it there. The goal there is to build a $250,000 playing surface with in-kind services. It's designed for children with disabilities. The surface will be vinyl or rubber to allow for wheelchair use. Columbus and Lowndes County leaders have pledged $50,000 each if they need that. Golden Triangle Outdoors is providing $100,000. Now organizers need to find a location for the field.
The next step is number one, the first thing is we've got to decide where we want to put the park, the field at, and we have two options, the county or city, and based on some information from our handicapped family, we're going to give them an opportunity to put some input in where they'd like to have it.
If they're able to start work this spring, that field could be ready by the fall. By this time tomorrow, the Bancorp South Arena will look more like India. Yeah, volunteers spent the day preparing for this. The 54th annual Junior Auxiliary Charity Ball. Hundreds of people are expected to come out there. It's for an evening of food, music, and fundraising. You can see them getting ready there. It's the primary fundraiser for the JA.
We do closed closet. We have silent servings, which we pack food for children over the weekends that might need extra food in the weekends. We have scholarships, college scholarships. We teach CPR classes. We just have a lot of wonderful service projects this is what that pays for.
The theme for this year's ball is Be the Change You Want to See in the World. You can find ticket information on our website, WCBI.com.
Well, speaking of change, we have some warmer weather coming our way after a cold night tonight. 70s for the weekend. Your full forecast is next.
Your first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
All right, this is a live look with that 98% full moon shining overhead tonight. Look at that. A live look with our Alpha Insurance camera in downtown Columbus. Now let's talk about the moon. We actually do have a subtle eclipse that will be tomorrow evening. The moon will rise at 5:29. It's going to be maximize this eclipse at 6:44. You will be very hard pressed to see it, and then the eclipse will end at 8:55. So what's going on? Well, this is not a full eclipse, just a subtle little partial eclipse. Just the top of the moon will be dimmed out a little bit about 6:45 tomorrow evening. So you may notice it, you may not, but it looks like sky conditions will be optimal to see it with mainly clear conditions, much like tonight where we are now cooling down underneath those clear conditions in the mid-30s in many spots here across our viewing area. And some of you will dip down into the upper 20s tonight, the last night below freezing for a while. As we get into tomorrow, your Friday, very cold to start out in Pontotoc and everywhere else. A lot of sunshine and mid to upper 50s by noon, 64 for you in Pontotoc during the course of the afternoon. Look at this. Wow, this is a nor'easter. Eastern Massachusetts earlier today. Imagine if that were in North Mississippi or West Alabama. We would be in a world of hurt. That is not the case, though. That system moving across the eastern seaboard, now out to sea. Additional rain back here across California. More wet weather out there in California today, but down here across the deep south and the midsection of the country fairly tame, and we like to see that as far as the active weather that we had earlier this week that is now out of the region. But warm weather is building back into the region, and it looks like we're back into the low to mid 60s here across northeast Mississippi on Friday. Today we were sunny but chilly. Tomorrow we are sunny and mild. Mid 60s in the Golden Triangle area, shot at some upper 60s just to our south, and low to mid 60s across West Alabama. Here's Futurecast. You can see no major concerns for us, but the winds become southerly on Friday, and that means those warmer temperatures are coming on back. How about some 70s for the weekend? It's likely we will have more cloud cover, and notice you see a little green blotch or two there on Saturday. There's a chance for a few isolated sprinkles or showers Saturday into Sunday. A better chance for some more concentrated rain, I guess, with a cold front late Sunday into Monday, and temperatures will cool back down into the 50s next week. There's your forecast. More of the show is after the break.
To our Health Talk with Baptist segment. February is Heart Month. Baptist is telling us tonight about how to assess problems with the coronary artery.
Hi, I'm Dr. John King, part of the cardiology team at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. Tonight I want to talk to you about what to expect during a heart catheterization. A heart catheterization, or heart cath, involves a specially trained heart doctor, a cardiologist, placing small plastic tubes called catheters into the heart and the coronary arteries. The catheters are used to record pressures and to take pictures of the coronary arteries and the heart itself. The catheters are placed into the body by entering an artery in the leg or wrist. It is performed in a catheterization laboratory, or cath lab, like the one behind me. It's somewhat like an operating room. Patients lie on a table while an X-ray machine moves around them to take pictures. A heart catheterization is mainly used to diagnose coronary artery disease. If a blockage is found, sometimes a stent is used to treat the blockage at the same time. A stent is a small metal tube that is expanded inside the blocked artery with a tiny balloon. The balloon is removed and the stent stays behind to prop open the blocked artery. This saves the patient another procedure. A mild sedative and a local anesthetic are given, but the patient is not put completely to sleep. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Coming up, another dominating performance tonight from Hail State Hoops. We'll have a recap of the Bulldogs and Vanderbilt coming up next in sports.
Here's WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe.
Another year and another night of cowbell yell at Dudy Noble Field as Mississippi State baseball welcomes in a new season on the diamond. The Bulldogs will begin the new year with a new head coach, Nandy Canizaros. The Diamond Dogs will begin the 2017 season next Friday at 4 p.m. as they host Texas Tech. Canizaro has promised that his team's going to light up that new massive scoreboard in right field. We'll hear more and see more from MSU coming up Saturday at Media Day and Fan Day. Well, to the hardwood, Mississippi State is venturing into rarefied air in women's college hoops. The Bulldogs 23-1, closing on win number 10 in the SEC tonight, and they would have no issues getting to that milestone against Vanderbilt. Let's go to the hump for some Hail State hoops. Victoria Vivians and the Bulldogs hosting Vanderbilt, and this game got ugly really quick. Morgan Williams starting things off with a nice drive to the 10-for-2. Bulldogs up early. More from Mississippi State. Victoria Vivian showing the lost art of the mid-range J. Gets the bucket, extending lead. More in the first quarter. MSU's already up 12-2. Williams is going to drive here. She's going to pull up and miss. Watch the play here by Dominic Dillingham. Following up and finishing. Great work on the rebound and score. Second quarter, MSU's now up 23-6. Vivians driving to the rim. Vanderbilt had no answer for Queen V in the first half. She gets the basket +1. MSU's now up 20. And then Williams is going to find Vivians on a nice skip pass for 3. Victoria had 21 points in the first half. She actually outscored Vanderbilt by herself in the first half. Later in the second quarter, Vivian's going to miss here, but Tara Chappell would be there for the putback. And our very own Ralph Harris voicing his support with that first half performance. MSU wins by 45, 86-41. They're now 24-1, 10-1 in SEC play. Now, the Bulldogs will visit the Pavilion on Sunday to take on Ole Miss. The Rebels have been so good at home this year. They were hosting Ole Miss tonight. Medina Muhammad trying to shoot LSU out of that zone. She gets the corner triple right there. And then in transition, Chandrika Sessom going to spot up for a 3 around that left wing. So Ole Miss is looking pretty good, and then they would go inside to Taylor Manuel. She gets the bucket +1 here. We were tied at 15 after 1, but in the second quarter, the Rebels would go 7 minutes without scoring. Here's Sessom with a hoop before the half, but they managed just 5 points in the second quarter as the Rebels trailed 32-20 at the half. They shot 34% from the field, managed just 8 more points in the third. They fall 62-51 to LSU. All right, let's run through some JUCO highlights to Scuba. We start EMCC Northeast. Ladies first. Kaisa Lucky going to kick over here. Anicia May left open in the corner for 3. That's nothing but nylon. This would be Northeast night tonight. Jada Tubbs going to drive to the rim. She's going to leave it off for Shelby Wilbanks, who puts it on spin cycle, and it hits the tough shot there. Northeast would get the win over the Lady Lions, 68-60. How about the men playing a good one? EMCC and Northeast. And Northeast is starting off with a basket here. Sean Buchanan driving to the rim. He's going to get the hoop and the harm. The Tigers lead. Led for most of this basketball game, too. Here comes Josh Skinner, leaving it off for Reggie Turnage for 3. That's a Starkville-Potsdam connection. Speaking of Starkville, Keith Harris can have a 3 of his own coming up on this high ball screen, but Northeast would get the win 87-78 over EMCC. Now let's get some high school hoops. MAIS district tournament action tonight. Winona Christian facing Oak Hill Academy. Second half, this was a barn burner. Mary Morgan Stafford inside. Her shot's blocked. Elise Diffie following up with the putback for 2. She gets the basket +1. By the way, Winona Christian's uniforms look brilliant. That light blue looks fantastic. Here's a great move inside. Tanner Grubb's going to get the basket for 2. Lady Raiders led by 3 heading into the fourth. Here come the Stars. Jada Mims using the screen. She gets the pop and the jumper, the bucket to go. 30 seconds left. Lady Raiders inbounding. Juliet Bristow, she's going to take going hard to the rim, gets the basket that would eventually go on to be your game winner as Oak Hill would defeat Winona Christian 38-35 in a thriller. And lastly, we finish up with boys action. Winona Christian and Columbus Christian. The Rams would hit hard, and they would